This is the second upload, I guess, today. Yeah, what a day. Not a good day at work, but it's not about that. Speaking of work, on my way to work, just a gig. It's not a full-time job I have. And with this individual, we're doing siding, which is painting mostly. I forgot. I was like, I got a fear of heights, but nevertheless, on the way to work, I think somebody was talking to me, and like not the guy in the car who was driving. I didn't know who those people were. I just had a random thought, and it's telepathic communication, quantum, whatever you want to call it, clairaudience or clair mic, clair presentation, clear speech, whatever you want to call it. I'm not ridiculing that. It's I was receiving, words, and I was just listening, and I actually, in my thoughts, I responded to. But these individuals, they knew 2016 was like 9 years ago, you know. It was summer 2016. Janusz was his name, and Janusz Kwiatkowski and Adam Novak. Adam Novak was the manager. Janusz was about to take over because Adam was leaving for Poland. It was a beer distributor job I had for like 4 years. That was my first couple months, and it was a weekend we were doing it. The owners of the beer distributor company, upstate New York, we were doing like out of natural stone around his garage, like a walkway. And anyway, I didn't remember fully, but individuals were like, I don't know if it was like it had a memory, or they saw it, or they perceived it from somewhere. It was like crystal clear, like a memory. And Adam actually kind of, people were saying, yeah, Janusz was working too. I was like, yeah, I just thought he was standing around because I remember him standing around. I guess Adam was yelling at him, in his way. But yeah, it was them fighting with one another, especially Adam on Janusz. But then I remember Janusz just he got like really kind of, I don't want to say psychotic, but it's like when you see an individual, it just like reddish in the face, or just like just like and I don't know. I don't know if they just argue with one another, and I'm not gonna mention the other mishaps that. Well, Janusz, he misspoke. He actually gave me bad advice. Not that it matters now. People were acting a different way, but people on the way to work, people, in my mind, it was just like conversations. They were talking about it. That and I remember a memory months later, after Adam, well, he kind of left on his own. There was a whole situation that happened with the owners. They held his paychecks. He was kind of scamming the company, writing himself a lot of hours. Yeah, there, me and Janusz were driving to upstate New York to pick up like planks and a scaffold, I believe. And I joked around. I joked around in the car too. Actually, it was just like a not a flashback. It was just like word for word, and it's like it's something Adam would say. It's like a I don't know. It was so, you would say egocentric, self-absorbed. You know, it was something like, who's the better worker, me or you, or like, yeah, I forgot how it goes. My mind is not like that, or I'm not in that memory actually. You know. And I kind of started laughing. I guess I don't know if other people laughed or something like that, but and some people told me, no, it's not a joke. That's how Adam really is, and it was just like, oh man, it was actually it was actually kind of funny. I should think I repeated that to Janusz, that word for word. But yeah, it was just to see them like that, and you like you meet people, and it was a thing, and I should have known. And people, I gotta say, people say, oh, you like to see them like that. Well, you gotta understand something. I mean, I guess you saw other memories, and you saw how Janusz really was from the beginning towards me, actually. And a lot of times, he would like back me up or something, this and the other thing. But I just, from the beginning, I sensed there was something. Well, for both of them, especially Janusz, though. So when I saw Janusz like that, I was like, then he's not that really strong, or he doesn't have everything figured out. And then actually, someone started telling me he's actually kind of stupid. You know that, right? And I was like, and I started thinking like, and I didn't mean to think like, can he do this? Can he do that? And people would be like, he wouldn't even do that. He wouldn't be there. He doesn't like to like build anything. I mean, I started to remember how he broke a stapler. It was just me and another guy, Marius, over there standing behind him, and he was just like, I guess it will work. It was just something simple. He just sat there like that. We just sort of like, oh fuck, that's like the last stapler we had, man. And it's like it could have been so easily fixed as well, you know. So yeah, it was just, but in the premise of this video is, it just like people know a lot of details from like, well, first of all, it was just me, Adam, and Janusz there. And the people that, it wasn't like the boss that was or anybody of them or just memory of communicating with me. It's the individuals they could see events that they weren't even there. I don't know from my mind, they read my mind actually after it happened. I mean, I don't know, or they went in my mind, they saw events in the past. Because I had a repressed memory, and this goes with it too. I must have been like, I don't know, under 5 years old. And yeah, deals with sexual aggression, especially for my parents. And I remember, but it's like it played like, and I saw myself with both of them next to me from like a distance. Actually, there was nobody there. So yeah, like I would say, there's good and bad things from that. I think I already made this video. Like I wrote something down earlier. But yeah, that's the reality of it, and yeah, it just kind of makes you feel like also on the premise of work, it just you meet people this and that, they think not that they have everything figured out, but it's like they either look down on you, and in reality, they're not that strong mentally, or emotionally, psychologically, they're not that secure. Especially Janusz. A lot of times he would just, turn red and just like you couldn't believe it's like, why judge over something like that? You could have just handled it so much better. It was nothing to even get that angry about. But yeah, that's it's I'm all over the place with this video. Usually I mean I do, go off on tangents, this and the other thing. But yeah, the individuals that is, it's like there really isn't any privacy. There isn't any privacy of your life, actually. I mean, people will know events, and there was nothing recording. And no one wrote anything, even if they did. No one was, no one. I think a lot of staggering with words over here. People just didn't open up to those people. Who knows who those people were when I was driving in the car on my way to work? When I wasn't driving, I was in passenger seat. It's just random people, and there's yeah. I'm not even gonna get to what was the other video. Well, yeah, it was abuse and consequences. It could get to a form of abuse. Because honestly, I kind of didn't. I mean, it was a memory. It's like I kind of didn't really want to have that experience. It would have been better to have a physical experience, like a conversation, actually, instead of in my mind and other people's minds. I mean, just and if somebody's gonna blame you or you're the one, yeah, listen, I can't help it. I can't help it. And I don't want to reach people and I'm going to converse people and bother people. I mean, you got to understand about me. I get not just abused, threatened. I mean, today was one of the worst days I had. And, I figured out if you're not doing anything physical, and, your mind is stagnant or your body is stagnant. I could play ukulele and people still get in. There's these terms that people use and people just, there's always some people that I got to stop. It's very difficult to write even like the opening of a playlist for scrapping. It took me so long because someone messed with my wording. In my mind, they were just, messing with me. And I could never remember one word. It took me like so much energy to actually remember. So many other terms and words. And I don't know who that person was. But eventually, like I remember it took me a while and like I don't know if a whole day I spent rehearsing, and I rewrote it and I actually the next day actually that individual, I guess he wasn't reading my mind, he wasn't mentally stalking me, harassing me, and I actually just, did it. So, you gotta power through it like this and the other thing. But, when I do something physical, there's less people that actually permeate my mind. I mean, I did Tai Chi today, and it was as individuals that, well, I'm not gonna mention names, but the well, the place was not too far from me. I had a job from there, and I wasn't fully aware then. They knew me. Well, one person, yeah, I kind of remember her, but not really. I was confused. For months and years ago, it's like it's like anyone that actually knows me or actually watches my YouTube. There's individuals that came into my life and they were just so honest about the history that how they knew me. I had mental suppression. I don't remember, like you say, blackouts. I don't remember these people even from like the early '90s. A couple years went by, and I just remember they weren't just so honest. Hey, why didn't you do this and the other thing? No one really said anything to me. And eventually, not just in that place, multiple places, and social groups. And I mean, I could go on. I'm not mention names, but it gets to a point when you catch people like that, and, you kind of feel not just paranoid, but like, what's going on? And a lot of times, you ask even Janusz. I mean, Janusz, he lived not too far away from you. I'm not sure, but I know Janusz, not, I don't have proof, but he knows my parents and some of my relatives, and they don't really, they're not honest with me that they know each other. So, yeah, it's like, it kind of bothers you when you touch on that, and you're like, what's going on? Why my parents, are deceptive, so manipulative? And it shocks you, bothers you when you're right now. It's just like, oh, this. I mean, I'm not making a joke about that, but put it together, be like, yeah, great, yeah, fuck you, I don't care. Like, fuck, you're not gonna be honest with me. I'm like, what? I'm just gonna fucking what? Not go to work tomorrow. I'll go to work and I'll just like, oh, what? I'm gonna ask you, and no one will say anything. Most people will say anything. Either they'll try to, act like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, some people lie better than others. So, yeah, and Adam too. I don't know when. He was a bus driver, maybe in Poland sometime. I ran into him, also my so-called cousin. Because I think my cousin you, Janos, and actually a lot of people from Amsterdam, including Janos. Now, I'm not getting into that video about, that beer distributor job, because that's what it really was. But yeah, it messes with you when you catch on and you're still there, but you don't fully aware. You just have like either flashbacks or moments of memory. And it's like, I don't know if then people like, mess with you, like, tell you that this and the other thing. Like, so right now, it just like kind of sort of doesn't matter. Just go in my memory. Even that memory, like a flashback, just doesn't matter too much. Because I know how Janos is from other, from other events. I mean, speaking of privacy and just integrity, it's conflicting matters.